Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today we're back here for another speed build, and today we're going to go ahead and create this base game village. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, it is up on the gallery now. My origin ID is realthomascv1, and there will be a link in the description to the online gallery of this build if that's an easier way for you to kind of download it. And yeah, so like I said, this is called a base game village. Now this is kind of one of those sort of like community slash gated community slash multiple homes on one lot type of build, and I really love doing these, and I've done quite a lot of them recently. And this is another one, and I kind of thought, how can I do another one, but kind of make it a little bit different? And I thought doing it in just with base game would be a good idea, because I know a lot of you do request base game builds and really love them on the gallery, as I saw. So I thought, you know what, we might as well do that, as it's going to be a little bit more practical for some people. So that's what we're doing today. So this build has is it 4 homes? Yeah, it is 4 homes. I'm kind of a little bit sort of confused because I can't really remember, because I built this on the 12th of February. It's currently the 28th of February that I'm doing this voiceover on, and I think this is going up on the 3rd of March. Now this was supposed to go up on the 24th of February, but I kind of found out about Strangerville, and that was the embargo release day thing, so I had to push this build back. I was really excited to share it, so I'm so happy that I'm sharing it now, because I'm just so happy how this build turned out. And yeah, so we're working on this first house here, which is on a diagonal. Now, you know, I always regret doing diagonals because, you know, they're just a mess, really. It's just so difficult to get things to work how you want it to. So because it was kind of, you know, so difficult and really frustrating, I don't think I show you the interior of this build, me kind of doing the interior, because it was so frustrating. As you can see here, the staircase is even on a diagonal as well, so that was so frustrating. So as you can see, it kind of messed up the floor plan, really. So it's a really odd kind of shaped house. So to kind of save you having to watch me go through this pain, I just went ahead and just didn't even bother recording it. Sometimes I kind of, you know, record it and then cut it out, but I just, you know what, Thomas, just stop the recorder and just do it off screen, because this is just going to turn out to be a mess. So I did a little bit here, as you can see, kind of choosing the wallpapers out and stuff like that, as I don't always show that, because some people say, because I say that I don't include it, and then people say, well, it kind of is sometimes good to include it because you can see the process. Now I'm one of those people that I kind of just pick the first thing that I see, and it's just what I want, really, just through practice. Not like I'm being lazy, but it's just I always just end up picking the first thing I see is that what I want to use, kind of, if that makes sense. So, you know, going through and showing you the process of going through and putting the wallpapers in, it's kind of really boring, because I literally just pick the item and place it, really. It's not like, okay, I'm going to go through and cycle through all these different colour swatches and stuff. Now, sometimes that does happen if it's kind of something I'm not really familiar with in terms of a build style, but for the majority of the time, it's just a very quick process, so that's why I don't include it. So as you can see, we're kind of just going around and working on the train area and stuff, and kind of working out the stairs, because stairs sometimes don't always really cooperate that well with train editing, so I'm kind of just going around and editing that. So you can kind of see how it's like the bigger house on the tallest or highest hill at the back of the lot, and then kind of trickles down, I guess you could call it. So the ones at the front of the lot are on the lower ground, and then the one at the back is on the higher one. And I don't really play around with train tools that much, because I always kind of struggled with them when we first got them, because it is, you know, it's, well, I know some of you are kind of used to it from previous Sims games, but I wasn't really a Sims player back when we had the other games. So The Sims 4 was really, I played a little bit of The Sims 3. I'm not going to go into the full story again, but you know, so I didn't really have I've never really played with train tools ever before until I got it in The Sims 4. So it took a little bit of a while kind of getting used to it, and I was kind of, you know, didn't really use it that much, because it was just, I found it a little bit difficult. But through practice, of course, you know, like everything, I did get better at it, and it's actually kind of nice to kind of switch things up in terms of builds by including some train editing. Even if it's just, you know, simple things like, you know, instead of putting a ramp up to a garage door, kind of just having the train slightly slope up. So for example, if you watch my video from the other day, which was the Montero modern build, that was actually built back in November of last year, and that actually used a ramp as well, because we just got train tools then, and now I kind of just do the little train edit as well, so kind of just improved, even if it's just a minor thing and not doing a huge big hill on one of the builds, just kind of using it in a slightly different way. And if, you're probably confused by me saying I built that build yesterday, back in November or Friday. If you go watch the speed build, I can explain it in the voiceover why I'm sharing a build from November 2018 in March, well, nearly March 2019. And yeah, so we're just going around now doing the structure of the other homes. Now, a lot of the things in these homes are fairly repetitive in terms of the bathrooms and how I do some similar things. So I don't show you every single house of the finishing from start to finish, which is a normal thing that you see in these types of builds where it's multiple homes in one lot, because some things are going to be the same. So I don't show you everything. But I do, you know, if things are going to be different in one home than the other, then I do show that, or show you some variations of particular rooms and things like the kitchen and things like that. And yeah, so the other day, I didn't mention this in my Friday's video, but it was actually my birthday on Wednesday, which was yesterday for me. I'm recording this right on the 28th, and I want to just say a massive thank you to everybody who sent those lovely birthday messages. I got so many, it was crazy, so thank you everybody who's been sending those. And also as well, I just want to give a quick shout out to Dr. Ashley, because she wrote such a lovely birthday message to me on Twitter, and it just made my entire day actually, so thank you Ashley for that. And yeah, so I didn't actually mention the kind of bedrooms and bathroom numbers of this build. So like I said, I did do it like a couple of weeks ago, so I can't exactly remember how many it was, but I think it was around 7 bedrooms in total in this house, like in the entire lot, I guess you could call it. Now, you know, I think each house itself has like 2 to 3, so you know, you can kind of go by that if you, because I know some people play it like these types of lots differently. So, you know, there's 7 bedrooms in total, if you want to know that. I think, though, because I can't quite remember. So, I always say this, I kind of say how many bedrooms and bathrooms I think there is, and then I go to the gallery and check, and it's actually totally different. So, don't take my word for it, though. And like I was just saying about going to the gallery, I do always put the correct amount of bedrooms and bathrooms on the gallery, because what I do is actually, to kind of make things a little bit easier when it comes to uploading a particular build or creation to the gallery when the video goes up, once I'm actually finished building that day, I go ahead and kind of do all the gallery upload and just save it to my library. So I've got the description, the title, and all that sort of stuff written out. So when the video goes up, all I have to do is load up my game, go into my library, and just click upload on that build, instead of then going through and, like, you know, changing the lighting to get good lighting on the build and filling out all those details then when the video is just about to go up. It kind of just saves a little bit of time. So that's what I do, and that's, you know, that kind of goes back to what I was saying about the bedrooms and bathroom numbers, because I literally just count it then and put it into the description. So it's correct there, but my judgment now may not be correct. And yeah, so we're just working on an interior of one of these builds. I'm not really too sure which one this is actually, but it's one at the front of the lot, I think. Is this the blue one, I think? Or, oh, I think this is the orange one. Is it the orange? I can't even tell, to be honest. Now, actually, what I was just saying there about the orange one, what I did was to kind of keep sort of like a similar theme going throughout the houses, is that I kind of used the same brick on the lower floor, and then on the upper floor I went ahead and kind of choose a wooden kind of siding colour. So each one is slightly different, but they're all like the same siding, if that makes sense. So kind of that's a similar thing that you'll see in real life in these kind of estate homes like this, where it's like multiple homes in like one street or something, all these kind of like detached houses and things like that. Because I mean, I live in one of those, like in real life I live in a street like this, so all the homes are kind of built by the same company, but you know, there are some differences here and there. And that's kind of what I used for this build as well. And I actually do that a lot with these multiple homes on one lot types of builds that all have like some sort of like similarity running throughout them. And yes, so we're just working on kind of the kitchen area of this build. Now this kitchen is actually a little bit smaller than usual, but it kind of has, you know, all the necessities in it. Sometimes we make the kitchens like so huge, like especially mansions, where I kind of just because I've got the space for it really. But the end up kitchens sometimes end up being like bigger than like a house, like a 30 by 20 house. So I kind of go crazy sometimes, but that one is a little bit more reasonable, I suppose, but very small compared to what I normally do. And there's also like a little glass roof area there above the dining table, which is always nice to have. And yeah, so the other thing as well I didn't mention is that since like this lot, I mean it is a 50 by 50, which is pretty big, but since like it's a lot of homes on one lot, I couldn't do backyard areas in these builds, which is a little bit of a shame. But you know what, these builds are kind of something that you may not actually use, because it's a little bit, you know, frustrating in terms of how the game works with this type of thing. So I suppose it doesn't really matter that I didn't put backyard areas in. But saying that, I think one of the builds, because I had the space for it, I did go ahead and put a back porch in, and like a seating area and a barbecue or something like that. So that's there as well. But if you kind of want to sort of rearrange things and maybe add in a backyard area, if you find the space for it, then feel free to do that. They do have like a front yard space with like the driveway and stuff like that, but that's really it that I could fit in. And yes, so we're just going around now doing a little bit of these driveways. Now this is the really frustrating thing I had a problem with in this build. As you can see, the cars there don't kind of cooperate with the train editing, which is really frustrating, because it's just I wanted the cars to be on the driveway, like going up to it, if that makes sense. So, you know, I managed to kind of make that yellow kind of family car thing look right on the orange house, but some of them kind of a little bit frustrating, but I managed to get them to work in the end. Sometimes I just had to kind of, I think for one of the houses I just went ahead and put it on the street, like the car on the street instead of up the driveway, as you can see there for the greenhouse. And the diagonal house at the back didn't actually have space for a driveway though, but you know what, that's alright. So we're just going around now doing a little bit of landscaping and also putting some streetlights in. Now I didn't actually know that we had those streetlights. As you can see there, the ones with like the really tall streetlights with the flowers on them. I didn't even realise we had those in game. I thought they were just from like get together and cats and dogs and stuff. So I was really happy to see that, because I did want to go ahead and put some of those in this build, but you know, with just being base game I was restricted in some areas. Now also as well, I've mentioned this before, and I know a lot of builders do say this, but if you're doing a base game build, it's really helpful to just disable all the packs before you go into it. James, the Sim Supply, has a tool on his website to go ahead and do that, and tells you how to do it there. You don't actually uninstall the packs, it just temporarily disables them. Did I say that right? Temporarily disables them. There we go, I slurred my words there. I was talking too fast. So it just makes it really easy to do in base game builds, because if you kind of just have all the packs installed like normal, and you go ahead and do a base game build, when you're going through the catalogue and trying to choose items out, you're going to see things that you normally like to use, but it's from a pack, and you spend so much time kind of focused on things that you can't use, and that's kind of what makes things just take too long. And that's also one of the things as well which kind of speeds up the time of my speed builds, is that, but especially base game builds, is that I don't have the other items to look at that I really want to use. I'm just, the only items I see in the catalogue is the base game ones, and it just makes it so much easier, and you're not kind of focusing on things that you can't use, if that makes sense. So just makes the whole process a lot more easier to do when you don't actually see the items that you can't use. So disabling the packs is really easy, and it is just a really helpful tool to just making the whole sort of base game building process a lot easier. And yeah, so we're just going around now doing a few bedrooms in one of these builds. I'm kind of lost off of where we actually are in terms of which house this is, but I did go ahead and cut out some things. As you can see, the hallway there, I don't think I included the hallway footage, and that's why this kind of speed build video is a decent length, so it isn't too long, because I didn't show you kind of the repetitive things and stuff like that. But I don't think this build took me that long in total either. I'm pretty sure it was less than 2 hours to do this entire build, which is pretty crazy. Now, you know, I did actually do this over 2 days, so I started on the 11th of February. I did a little bit of the diagonal house and kind of get the structure of that done and working out the terrain editing and stuff like that, and then for the rest of it I came back on the 12th and finished it off. So we're just going, I think this is like a master bedroom, I guess, or master, however you call it, because this has like a little fireplace, I think it was there, and also like just a fairly big room. Now most of the time I don't kind of define what's the master bedrooms in my builds and stuff like that, because I do most of my rooms neutrally in my build, so they look pretty similar. And also as well, it's kind of like some builds may have like an ensuite, sorry, some rooms may have an ensuite bathroom, but then another room may not have an ensuite bathroom, but it has its own like, you know, seating area and fireplace and TV and stuff. So that's why I don't always say and kind of classify what the master bedrooms are. I know a lot of people do that in the speed builds. I can just leave it up to you really, so you can kind of, you know, decide for yourself. And yeah, so we're just working on another bedroom here, again, pretty, you know, simple, and kind of just the same. So I don't show you all the bedrooms in this build, and we're kind of are already nearing the end of this build now. I'm going to head on to the screenshots in just a second. So I really hope you enjoyed today's speed build in the comment section down below. Let me know about what you thought of it, if you have any more suggestions for builds or kind of builds like this where it's multiple homes on one lot, that sort of thing. If you have any more ideas for those, then let me know as well in the comment section, as that'd be really helpful to hear. Leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't, and you can go ahead and download this from the gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and there will be a link in the description to the online gallery if that's an easier way for you to download this build. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!